Hey, what is up, guys? I'm Ben, and this is Kame Trick. Welcome back to another drifting live stream here on the channel that bridges the gap between sim drifting and real-life drifting. This channel is all about motorsports, all about drifting, and so if you want to get into it in sim or in game, this is the channel for you. We are going to try out a new map that just dropped. It's an open world map. It's not a drift-specific map. And it looks pretty cool. However, I've gotten a couple DMs as I was setting up the stream that it might not be feasible. It seems like it may not be optimized all that well. So we could be hopping to a different stream almost, or sorry, a different map almost immediately. Let's see. Koenigsegg says it's super laggy. Uematsu-san is chiming in from Japan. He says, Konnichiwa, otsukare-sama desu. He says, hey, what's up? Nick says he's not the only one, and so does Matt and Urban Grit. Alright, well, I do want to show you guys, or attempt to show you guys, this map really fast. I'm getting a CPU occupancy warning as well, so it's probably not going to work. Oh yeah, it's like bullet time. Hey, we're driving Tando Buddies cars. That's hilarious. I have actually never seen a map glitch us this crazy before. It's a badass map though. So like you're at this, I'll tell you real quick and then we'll switch. You're on this like pier and there's like boats and stuff. It kind of reminds me of, I think it's Monaco. And you can go out and drive the piers and drift on them. And then there's like a little Touge road and like a rocky like California coast style mountainside as well. So that would have been really cool. Clearly though, I can already tell that this is just not, God, it's weird. It's like drifting in the snow. It's not going to be feasible. That is such a bummer. I might have to make a solo video about this map. I hadn't actually tested it. Oh, we're going to fall off the pier. Can't block it. Ah! I hadn't actually tested it prior to coming out. So that's good times. We're gonna duck back to video chat because this is not sustainable. And I've got the crew already on Discord coming up with a couple of different alternatives, or I'm gonna find one myself. So we're gonna go to a different server. It was worth a try. Unfortunately, that's just not gonna fly. Let me see what we've got here. We're just gonna pick something that I actually have. If you saw one of my recent edited videos, I'm gonna be using that exact technique here on the stream, where I am looking up essentially online servers that are popular. You see what I can find, and if there's nothing, we're just going to crash somebody else's server. Looks like we've got Mega Tamada, Balalunga, which is an actual circuit, and more Mega Tamada. We can either crash France or the Netherlands. Ping is about the same. I say that we crash the Netherlands. Shout out to my people, although nothing against France. Hey, Andy Haley's in here. We're gonna bother Andy Haley. Let me grab an invite link real quick. Technical difficulties. Changing to Mega Tamada. That would have been a really cool map, but unfortunately it was not meant to be. But that is the nature of the biz, as they say. The show must go on. So there we go. We'll get that loaded up. Meanwhile, I'm going to catch up with chat, see how you all are doing this fine Friday. And I gotta check some, so that's not gonna work. Excellent. This is just not my day. What is it that I am lacking? Huh. Well, it must be something to do with a new version, I guess, of the WDT Pro Pack. So again, we're going to use the tools built into my tutorial videos. We're going to go to my Discord, go to AC Mod Sharing, scoop up the latest WDT pack. I assume that this is the problem, and hopefully we'll be able to get on. We shall see. Meanwhile, what is up, chat? Tandem, yeah, we might. As a backup, I'm gonna try to get into this Mega Tomato server real quick, but if you wanna, I mean, I'm sure you'll want to change your server anyway, so if you want to bounce over to, I don't know, Forest Park or Sumisudo, any of those, your choice. Something that is known to work, that would be rad. Let's see if we can have any luck here. Cinerax, what is up? Fancy Leon. It is in the video description, although we just bounced off that map. I'm catching up. Hershey, what's up, man? There's a voice chat in the Discord. I'm not in it just because it can be sometimes difficult to manage everything and keep a train of thought. But sometimes I do streams with friends on voice as well. Ben Lind, what is going on? Alex, good to see you. Welcome back. A tip. Yeah, we'll be trying to send it. We're currently sending it to the shop for maintenance, apparently. Yeah, what is up? Capel, good to see you. Pred Rider, welcome back. We could do some Touge racing. Ryan, what's up, man? Guillaume DeCarlo, we're just waiting on this to download. How's it going? Leahy, what's up? GWG Runge. You know, I have a video on that, on how to find servers, and if you search my playlist, it's like the 4th video back. Nick, any other open world tracks? I mean, yeah, heaps. I just am not in a position to deal with them at the moment. So, let's grab this update to car packs. No idea why that isn't wanting to let me in, but I'm going to see once it finishes if we'll have any luck, and if not, then we will have to bounce to wherever Tandem takes us here. Tandem being one of the OTM crew, that is his in-game name. So let me see now if I can join that server. And it looks like we chased Andy away. That's unfortunate. I was hoping to get the drive with him. Andy's one of the FD drivers. Hershey, if you hop into the Discord, somebody can help you out, I'm sure. Nope, still checksummed. Well, I have no idea what that is, since I never have a checksum on the OTM servers. So I'm not going to be in that server. It is not possible for me to join it. Good to Scoot, what is up? Shinjuku, Ohio, こんばんは。まあ、なんでもいいけど。今日はちょっとね、テクニカルが難しくて、まだまだドリフトしたことがなかったんです。ごめん。Somehow we're just stuck in technical difficulty land here. So I'm going to DM Tandem, which I don't know that I've actually DM'd him before, so I'm going to have to search. Nope. We will be going to Twitch as well at 10:30, bringing the crew over there, which I'm kind of excited for that, and definitely gonna need to, because this is is awful. Koenigsegg, I don't run this server. It's actually hosted by the OTM crew, so it can be changed, and I'm going to get with them right now. Just one moment, please. Just letting Tana know. This map looked really cool. It's unfortunate that we didn't have an opportunity to try it. I've been working on the stream. Alright, we're going to get the regular map reset. Okay, so basically we're going to be going to Sumisudo Kart 2018 on the link that was in the Kame Trick Discord initially that I pinged everyone for. We've just changed the map. It just took a minute. So that is where we are now headed. And obviously no checksum now. I don't know why it was doing that. Thank you, Tandem, for the map change. Such a bummer that we had all that drama. But, just going to update the Discord, delete that irrelevant message, and we are all set. Man, that is a bummer. But everybody will slowly float in to this new server, and we'll get the good shreds that you guys are always watching. Somebody drop into the comments to just skip to 17 or 18 minutes, and we'll we'll be all set. Sorry about that, y'all. Oh my goodness. Koenigsegg, is it low latency? Oh, you're talking about Twitch, right? Yeah, we have like 2 seconds of latency on Twitch and like a minute or half a minute on all this good jazz. Hey Tip, do I go to the Texas events? I do. I go down and hang with the Lone Star Drift crew somewhat regularly. I'm not actually ready to drive. I probably shouldn't have pulled that on the track. Let's see. We're going to turn off that. I'm going to pull this down out of the way. At least now I can chat and read chat while I drive. I just can't use my e-brake, which is one of the biggest problems with my YouTube stream right now. Got to fix that e-brake still. Brody, 200 people? For real? That sounds like, that sounds far too good. That can't be right. That can't be right. I'm gonna check. 200 people are watching the one time I have hilariously bad... That must have, hilariously bad technical difficulties. Holy shit. It says 305. You guys are the bomb. Alright, so, I'm just going to get to work here, because we apparently have an audience. That is gnarly. Welcome to Kame Trick. This is a channel that's all about drifting. I drift in real life. I drift in simulators like Assetto Corsa. And just love the sport. Love the people, love the scene. I've been doing this for a long time, longer than good drifting simulators were out. Which is not to say that I'm amazing at it, but I can usually hold my own. We're just doing a few warm-up laps. We've just gotten started. And if you want to get into sim drifting, I have videos on the channel that will help you. If you want to get into real-life drifting, I have a couple of videos about how to actually do it. Little door wall tap there. We're going to kill ourselves. And I also have a fair number of videos just showing kind of my simple seat time build, which has been around since before that sort of internet buzzword was a thing. But if drifting is what you're into, or what you want to get into, or what you're a fan of, then this is the channel for you. And I would love it if you would hang around for the live a little bit, and then when you're done, bored, or whatever, check out the edited videos on the watch page as well. In addition, I also stream on Twitch, which is a brand new thing. I did my first Twitch stream last Friday, so we're going to be switching over to Twitch at 10:30. Well, of course, you guys may not have the same time zone as me. Let me see what time it is real quick as I reach over mid-drift and check my phone. It's 9:25. So in about an hour, we're going to be switching over to Twitch, and you can give me a follow there as well. I just started the channel, and it needs a little bit of help to gain some traction. Twitch.tv/Kame. We're going to see how well we can match up to Urban Grit here. Not so well. There's a little bit of a curse on the channel. It seems that when I'm streaming and I get behind somebody, they tend to wipe, and I don't know why that is. However, when we're offline, everybody drives pretty solid and we get some good tandems. We're just waiting as folks come into the server because we had a little bit of server drama attempting to try out a new map that did not end up working. I'm going to go back to pits and find a train to join. We're getting off to a slow start. We got 15 cars in the server. We're getting it full. It's just going to take a little bit longer than normal. I will say, for all you new folks, I normally make a pretty solid effort to check chat while driving, but I've got a little bit of an issue right now that is causing, there goes that curse again I was talking about. I've got a little bit of an issue right now that is causing me to actually not be able to see chat while driving. So I do have to stop drifting and alt-tab over to chat. Another thing that's not an issue on my Twitch stream, so the Twitch stream is a little bit higher quality. The latency is much lower as well. Maybe nerd stuff that you guys don't want to hear about. But basically, I highly encourage you to hop over to Twitch in about an hour and check that out too. We're just hanging out with a couple of our server hosts. This is one of the many crews that I drive with. These guys known as OTM for On the Mountain. They have some of the more solid team tandem drifting, which is, as you guys know if you have been watching the channel for a while, one of my personal favorite types of content as I get assassinated, which happens. So, oops, they are an awesome crew to check out. Just gonna duck in behind Siggy and his JZX here. Cut maybe one more lap. Somebody just bailed. And then I'll bounce out, check chat. Ooh, Siggy goes way wide, and we have a little bit of a wipeout. Alright, let's see what you guys are up to, because it has been a moment since I actually got to read chat. What do I recommend for brake pressure? I pretty much use stock. I do like a load cell brake pedal on a sim gear so that it feels nice and firm. DK4342, what is up? Good to see you. Neo, sorry, this map is Sumisuto Kart 2018. It's I think a 20 slot version of Sumisuto Kart, which has a lot less. Yeah, we've got a gnarly number of viewers. Maybe that's an error, I'm not sure. But if you guys are new, hit the like button, consider subscribing, hang out for a little bit, and enjoy some gnarly tandems. Yeah, we've got a pretty good crew here. Amir Hadidi, I haven't drifted on AC for 3 or 4 months. I was pretty decent, now I suck. Man, I know the feeling. If you get out of it, it does take a little bit of a while to come back in. Loose Leaf. So the car pack and the map, as well as an invite to this exact server, because you guys are welcome to join and slide with me, is in the Kame Trick Discord, which is all linked below. What's set up for braking for newbies? I am using the stock setup. These WDT cars are quite solid on the stock setup, especially their S chassis. I really like. So I literally have done nothing to it. I just hit join session, started the driving, and here we are, not having any issues. Oh, I never did turn up my turbo. I thought the car was struggling a little bit right here. There we go. And I'm gonna wait for a train to come along, which should be fairly soon. Let's see, we're gonna go over to the track map. Where is the track map hiding at? Here it is. Blind. I'll keep that off stream for you guys. Alright, here is a group of, looks like 3 cars coming up, and I'm going to attempt to join in. Oh, and Siggy is in there as well. And just barely dodge him. And we'll take maybe a third of a lap to get caught up and become the 5th car in this tandem train. Oh, stuff you don't want to see in real life. The guy in front of you suddenly come to a stop because he just hit a wall of S chassis. Although let me tell you, a chaser would go through several walls of S chassis before it had any issues like that. Silvio's a beer can against those tanks. Oh, sorry, John. Got a little bit too aggro there. Getting wild with the gentleman here. Just not quite enough angle there at the start. That would be the wrong pedal. I thought that felt awfully light. And we're gonna go around, but that's fine because I do want to take a moment and say thank you for the sub. Who have we got here? Get my tabs all sorted out. Casper, thank you very much. Welcome to Kame Trick. This is the channel where we party with friends by shredding in grassroots drift cars, whether that is modern, real-life cars, old ones, sim cars, it doesn't matter. We go shred. Hershey, good to see you, man. Alright, you're going to be in here. I will look for you. Try to give you some good leader follow runs. Tylen, you've got your coilovers, rims on your IRL car. Excellent. Very cool, man. Glad to hear that. see if Touge won't come slide with us. We are just taking one moment to get everybody calibrated. I hope that we can get a pretty nice crew together. I do know that I want to be following Touge here. So he's just going to wait for some clean track. And away we go. Generally, when you are following somebody and working on moving up into a tandem position, the thing that you need to be the most cognizant of, if you did not start close to them for whatever reason, is your closing speed, because that's going to be the opportunity to wipe out and push too fast to try and get close to them like that, and essentially obliterate the car in front of you if you misjudge your speed or theirs, or if they make some manner of mistake and have to slow down. So this is kind of the most dangerous part of tandem, if you know what you're doing, is just trying to creep up. Because if I'm trying to close on someone at 10 miles an hour and they happen to spin right then, it's going to be harder than if I was right on their door and they spun. It sounds counterintuitive, but it actually is true. Because when you're right next to somebody, you're basically going the same speed as them. And typically, when you are tandeming with, especially with folks who are pretty good, or when you actually know the guys that you're driving with, they tend to have similar setup cars with similar capabilities. And as a result, you tend to be able to stop at similar distances. And again, because closing speed is low, even if you guys do end up hitting, the damage is not going to be as severe as if there's more speed difference between the two vehicles. So the closer you get, the safer it becomes to push even harder. Oh boy. I'm trying to be a gentleman here, but that was kind of a weird situation. Alright, I think we're getting close to getting locked in. I don't have the same gearing as our lead car, so I'm going up to third, he's staying in second, which does make it a little difficult. But we're gonna attempt to get in position, match up. I was a little late there on our transitions, and then enjoy some hopefully solid laps. Oh, nope. I was a bit late, and I got a little kiss on the bumper there, which made it go from a little bit late to a lot bit late. Ah, man, I could tell that that was going to be a wall hit. I'll do some leading and talk through course strategy for this track. It's a pretty simple track. It's all second gear stuff except for a couple of sections. Wow, we caught up to Urban Grit really fast. I was not expecting that. I might just go for a pass here. Not trying to mess him up. Hopefully I didn't. But in a nutshell, and thank you for the sub, by the way, on this track, you were pretty much doing throttle steering for most of the turns. Here's OTM Tandem. He is actually the guy that I got with earlier when we started out kind of poorly, unfortunately, with that open world map that I wanted to drive. ended up being a CPU hog, and we weren't able to get a packed server, unfortunately. There we go. So when you are in close proximity, what you want to do is try to predict, like that, when the lead car is going to transition. Oops, I got distracted. And if you can successfully predict that, you can transition basically at the same time as them. And that will allow you to lock in nice and close. I'll take a shallower angle here and build up some speed to get caught back up, because I lost a little bit of speed there between our gearing differences and just not taking an ideal line. Tandem drifting is all about being able to adapt to different situations. The better that you can adapt, the closer that you can follow. Ooh, I was riding pretty close to that wall there. Ended up working out. See if we can't get back in position here. Alright, let's time that transition. I was early, which ended up putting me on the inside. I was able to pull an e-brake drag though and get back into position as I waited for the lead car to come around. That's the funnest part, going into these fast corners where you know that they've got a brake and you try basically to brake at the same time. Hey, welcome to the channel. Thank you for the sub. We're just in the midst of some proximity tandem drifts here in Assetto Corsa. And if you want to see some real life drifting as well, to back up what we are doing in the simulator, just go over to that videos tab. I've got probably 70 videos of me drifting my S13 in real life, which I've been doing for far longer than I've been doing sim. But in my opinion, with a pretty solid sim rig setup, a belt drive wheel setup, these skills will transition over fairly quickly once you just get used to the lack of G-forces, which is definitely the weirdest thing about sim drifting if you are already an experienced real life drifter when you get into sim. Oh, I'm gearing limited there, and I should have probably shifted up to third. Using e-brake on the transition because I am not completely confident of when our lead car tandem is going to change directions. So as a result, a nice e-brake drag will slow my car down, give me a little bit of proximity, and I can just kind of wait and see or check up on him. And if he... oh, I thought that was a wall tap. Well, that messed me up. If he ends up braking, then I've got that extra little bit of space. I'm already e-braking, and I could have foot braked to slow the car down, and if not, then of course I just have to accelerate and I can close the distance. Oh, let's get back up to chat here and catch up with you guys for 1 second. In fact, I was just talking about the real life drifting. Let me show you, because it's always better to show than it is to tell. So we're going to switch over here to our video chat. I'm going to take you on board with my S13 as well as random clips from my travels. This potato cam footage is of the 787B 4-rotor Mazda from when I used to live in Japan. Now we're over at Grange. So enjoy some real life drift footage while I check chat and see what is going on with the crew here. Azorm, what is up? Kevin, good to see you. What is the easier transition for drifting? It is way easier to go from sim to real life drifting, 100%. If you go from real life to sim, unless you have an insane motion rig, you are 100% giving up G-force and feel and being thrown around in the seat. And guys who are skilled in real life use that and probably rely upon that more than anything, at least as much as vision, in order to tell them whether they're making the right transitions and the right motions or not. So when you go to sim, you effectively had all this information and then you lose a chunk of it. And so that makes it really hard. Sim, you get the other dynamic. You get as good as you get, and then when you go to real life, you actually get more information. So it actually just makes it that much easier to do what you already could do without it. It's really not bad. GWG Runs. What channel is the server link in? It is in the KT announcements channel. Sorry, I should have specified that. Bram, when I drift with my friends, they always crash because they don't know how to drift. I'm trying to teach them and show them the channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It does take some practice, but hey, at least you can practice in the simulator, because I have learned solely in real life, and I've seen a lot of my friends actually total their cars, not have the money to fix it, and then get out of drifting forever as a result of just moving on with other life priorities. So being able to use a simulator like this and crash into your friends is, in a way, actually really awesome. So, good times. Captain Thunder, a good car pack. My favorite car pack is the WDT Street Pack. That's what you're seeing on the server right now. I also think that if you are brand new and you're having trouble with adapting to the weight shift, you might try Tando Buddies. A lot of the internet has polarized feelings. It's probably the most loved and most hated pack because it is very easy to drive. It's kind of the bullet time of drifting. Your transitions are slower than realistic, and that makes it easier for you to catch up. But once you get the gist and you build some confidence, I really think WDT Street is an awesome pack. You might also check out Simply Sideways by Alan Weed and his crew, and as well the Death Wish Garage. But there's a ton of neat cars out there, and I don't want to pick just one. Sadat, I have a bunch of information on how to get into the mods and how to download them on the YouTube channel, as well as the Discord. All that stuff is available in the video description. Nicholas finally catching a live. Oh no, the apartment complex is flooding. Yikes. Hey, thank you though. Speedy Speedboy, Taniguchi or DK? Man, that is a tough choice. I'm gonna have to say Koguchi. The open map, it's in the Discord. I don't remember the name of it. I barely looked. I just downloaded it real quick. Vertex, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Mert, good to see you. Seth Crazy, good to see you. Doing all right. Yeah, Tandem, that was a solid bit of Tandem runs there. A little bit of alliteration. Is it worth an upgrade to Fanatec from a G920? Yes, absolutely. Basically, any Logitech wheel is a gear-driven wheel. They are going to drive and have a slow spin rate, so the speed at which the wheel can do this is going to be slower on a Logitech wheel than an actual car would be. When you go up to any belt-driven wheel, whether it's a Fanatec or whether it's a belt drive Thrustmaster like the T300 or the TSPC, you're going to get that realistic, fast self-steer that lets you do what I do and what you see in real-life drifting videos, where the guys are cornering and then they let go of the wheel and you see the wheel just spin through their hands and then they grab it, and that's how they transition. On a Logitech wheel, you're probably having to like really manhandle it in order to get the car to transition, which is just a pain in the ass and not realistic. Mert, Yamanashi short. Koenigsegg, look out for me. I'm going to try to ride the tour. Yeah, fair enough. Lone Star Drift tomorrow. I'm not going to make it. I actually have a birthday party that I already had plans for that I've got to go to. And also, if it's one of the Houston events, that's also like an 8-hour drive one way for me, which is a little bit difficult to make a day trip down for. So, unfortunately not, but I do make it down to Lone Star pretty much every year for one or two events, and I certainly hope to have a hangout down there and a meet and greet down there at some point. Alright, let's get a little bit more driving going for you guys. So I'm just going to duck my stream windows down and out of the way. Sam, always happy to help. Thank you for watching the stream and being a part of the community here. Gangster, thoughts on the DTP car pack? Sure, I can. Ooh, there's a big tandem train coming around. You can see them off to the left of that B pillar or the A pillar there. I'm going to wait for them to come around, and then we're going to jump out behind them, or at least try to. Now, with all of that said, although that's probably the tandem group that I actually want to be with, we'll see if this train makes it around. These big trains often dissolve before they get back to the start. I think there's 3 or 4 cars still in it. Oh, hey, what's up, Pro Trider? Good to see you, buddy. You didn't just die on the stream, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's 5. It's not that close of a train. However, I hope that when we catch up, everybody will check up, and we can put together some good stuff for you guys. I'm just gonna drive up to the guys first. I was in 3rd gear. That explains why the car felt like it had no balls. Right, so thoughts on the DTP car pack? That would be a wall hit. A request from Gangsta. So, Disturbing the Peace, or DTP car pack, if I recall, that's a bit of an older pack. It was one of the first packs that I tried. My impressions on it are that it's got a nice amount of angle. I think I actually reviewed one of their cars. I think I reviewed one of their cars. But those cars have solid angle, they have solid power. I think, depending on what you want to simulate, if you care about realistic simulation, that they have a pretty crazy amount of power. It would be like if you had a Pro 1 car that only had the settings and the grip of like a grassroots party car. So you've got ridiculous power on throttle, you never have to clutch kick, at least in the R32, which is what I usually drive if I'm driving that pack. But the car doesn't actually go anywhere. They're pretty slow, they don't go that fast. They're sort of poor under braking as well. So all the dynamics are solid, it's just kind of like driving in the rain even though it's in the dry, if that makes sense. Otherwise though, I think they're a good pack. The progression that I used when I was learning how to drift in Assetto was basically starting on the Tandem Buddies cars to cover for the fact that, like I was mentioning earlier, my timing was all off because I didn't have any G-forces to tell me what to do with the car. So because of that, all of my inputs were late and I was spinning the car a lot, or I was afraid to get on throttle as early as I should because I had been spinning the car a lot. So I was just having a really tough time with all my transitions. The car would grip up and understeer because I'd wait too long, or it would spin out because I would not countersteer quickly enough, things like that. So after I kind of got the gist and built some confidence and began to learn how to use other visual cues to figure out what to do with the steering, the pedals and everything to keep the car in drift, effectively compensating for that lack of G-forces, then at that point I went to the DTP cars. After that I moved on to the Drift Workshop cars, which is an old pack, which has basically been superseded now by what we were driving, the WDT street cars. And once I got pretty solid on WDT street, I haven't looked back. This pack is head and shoulders above everything else for the type of simulation that I enjoy, which is medium power, big angle grassroots cars. Give me 3 to 400 tops wheel horsepower, big angle kit, and a little bit of style, and that's all I really want out of drifting. Picked up too much angle there, my bad. Oof. Ooh, almost assassinated the wall. And we're just being a gentleman and laying down some clean-ish lead runs. These aren't really my best, to be honest. The wall tap there for the fans. One thing I usually do every stream is I look for a place to throw a big backy, and I also look for a place to do a 360 entry. So let me see if I can knock out one of those, since I'm here in the lead position at the moment, although we're going to catch up to John eventually. I could catch up faster, but I'm not really trying to cut the track and make short work of it. So let's see what kind of backy we can throw here. Well, I didn't exactly exit the backy correctly. Oop. But we threw one. It's alright. Let's see, what do we got? I'm going to check chat again real quick. Ram, I've been drifting with my G27 for 4 years now, and I'm wanting to get a Fanatec wheel, but I want to make a cockpit first. I have a good video on that too. You can make one out of 2x4 if you already own like a handsaw, a circular saw, for like 50 bucks, and make it fit exactly how you want. Make it fit like your real car. That's what I did. I based the measurements off of mine. So that is a good thing to do. Speedy Speedboy is talking about sim computer specs. You can probably get some help from chat. If not, check out the EKT Discord. We've got a lot of software and hardware fans that know better than I do, basically, what you'd want to do. Pro Rider, yeah, man. We're, you kind of ate that wall, but it's alright, it happens. I'm sure I will before the stream is done. Kaboom, the 501 pack. Yeah, that was being developed. I'm good friends with Danny. That was being developed right as I came out into the sim world. Tora is running dual flight sticks like an MF boss. Kaiser Hound, what have you got? Okay, yeah, chat helping out there with the computer specs, excellent. Stock E30 drift spec car. If you're talking about the like Assetto Corsa drift spec car, it does not compare at all. It's very twitchy, it's not very stable. There are cars in real life that feel like that, but honestly, I think that the mod cars feel way more like a real drift car than the drift spec Kunos official cars do. If that's all you've got, by all means use it. I don't think it's terrible, but when compared to a pack like the WDT Street Car, it's terrible. So you just got to do what you can do. Gangsta says, facts, I switched over to the VDC car pack. Yeah, those are pro style cars. Not exactly my cup of tea, although, I mean, I would love to drive one. There are a few things I'd like to know about the pro style cars in real life based on driving them in sim. Just a little curious about that. But hopefully we'll have an opportunity to figure that at some point. Logan, is it hard to be good at drifting without a handbrake? You can absolutely get to be a great solo drifter without the handbrake. And in sim especially, you can use other things. If you have a flight stick laying around, you can use it. If you have a keyboard, you can set the spacebar, which is a pretty big, easy to mash button, up as a e-brake. That's actually what I'm using right now because I'll probably reach it. My e-brake that I use, an actual USB Fanatec e-brake, is actually broken. So this is supposed to require some effort to pull up, and it's just loose and all destroyed. So I'm using my keyboard right now. I'm going to rebuild, take that apart and rebuild it. Some of the metal components inside snapped at one point. So that, yep, happy to help with the mod info. Alex, G29 are up to 500 bucks. Holy crap. Yeah, man, if you're able to sell and wait a little bit, wait things out until prices normalize, you can probably do some pretty good business selling a sim rig right now. It's funny that the most affordable stuff is insanely expensive. All right, we're gonna go back out and cut some more laps. Charles, thank you for checking out the stream. Yeah, the quarantine is going okay. We're actually about to come off of quarantine. Just want to make sure I didn't get in the way of that purple car. We're about to come off quarantine. I've got to go back to work. I've been working remotely, but I've got to go back to work physically starting next week, so kind of mixed feelings. It's easier in several ways to work from the office, but there's always nice things about working remotely. If you have the type of personality as well as the type of job that works well for it. So we are behind Tommy in what I believe is a chaser. And I'm giving him some room because I've not really followed him a whole lot. And he's doing things a little differently than I would. Not that there's anything bad about his technique, but just, oh, that's too fast. Just like in real life, you would wait to make sure that you're comfortable with your tandem partner before you go all out. And that's one of the things, I suppose, that is different too about sim. You don't really have a car to worry about braking, and you may have no concerns about going as hard as you can. And in real life, if you took that sort of approach, you'd probably break your car and total it within a couple of events, because I think I probably wipe my car out in sim here every, I go through the grass and catch up to tandem every half hour or so at least. Alright, let's get some proximity chase in here. Do it easy. E-brake initiation. I did not have enough speed though to be able to actually stay and drift behind tandem. And that's confusing, but that's this red car, the driver of the red car, that's his username. Getting right to the point about what he's into. Oh, little bump there. That was not where I wanted to give him a bump. I was going for doors and I just got a little bit too stoked, I think. We're getting rowdy. So many door taps. So many bumper kisses. Oh. Tell you what, I got into sim drifting about a year ago, and it has been a slow journey, you know, like, oh, I either got bumped or I just lost concentration for a second. It's been a slow journey. It took me a long time to get decent. At this point, I think I'm better in sim than I am in real life, and so I'm really curious to see those skills translate back, because my journey, I built all of my skills in real life, and then I went into the simulator able to do tandems not quite this close and not quite this consistent or aggressive, but I was able to tandem before I got my simulator. And you know, like, I would go the entire event and not spin out. If I was having an off event, I'd spin out once or twice, even in tandem. So, you know, conservative, safe to where I didn't have to repair the car, but very solid as a solo and decent as a tandem driver in real life. And then I got into to sim. Shout out to Taylor Ray for that. I've been following Taylor's videos for a while. I really think I'm on a similar wavelength as to him. You know, he's a YouTuber. He's got a pretty big channel. It seems to be going pretty well, but he keeps his head on straight, and you can just tell that he's still thinking like a grassroots drifter and not like a big YouTuber. And I mean that in a good way. I don't know if he would think that that was a good thing or not. I'm all over the place here. We're gonna check up a little bit and then encroach back on the lead car. But he made a video where he went from like a $300 rig to a super expensive Fanatec rig. It was like $1,700. And he was basically making a video saying, was this worth the money? And the answer was yes. Yes, it is, for sure. Because the cheap wheels can't spin fast enough and they don't feel like a real car. And so if all that you do is sim, you may not know it any better, but if you drift in real life, it's maddening to have a wheel that doesn't countersteer like your actual car does. I mean, at that point, oops, we're done. At that point, if you drift in real life and you get a sim, the goal is not to play games, right? The goal is to either stay sharp or become even better. So anything that doesn't live up to what your real car can do actually hurts you. You don't want to spend time, you know, working with subpar equipment because it's going to limit your potential as a driver when you tune yourself down to those crappy standards. So I went from real life drifting into sim. Thanks to Taylor's video, I bought the same setup that he's got, although I shopped around for a couple months and actually found it used for like half price, a gently used kit, and it's been working great except for the handbrake that I broke. And so now, you know, it took probably 1 or 2 months drifting like once a week because I'm busy. I make videos every week on YouTube. I've got a day job as well, and I've got the actual car to fix and work on. So I probably took 2 months to get to where I was able to start linking tracks decently, like 8 sessions, 10 sessions, something like. And then it took a while to move through the different car packs, like I said, Tandem Buddies, DTP, DW, the 501 pack, the DW Wise Fab, which isn't really an official pack, but it's a sweet mod of a mod. And then finally this WDT Street pack came out and answered all of my prayers, basically, as far as being a radical pack that I would love to drive all the time. And it took another, 6 months or something for me to get decent at tandem. 6 to 8 months before I felt as good in game as I feel like I was in real life. And again, I don't think I'm that great of a driver, but I can hold my own. So it took a long time, and now finally I'm to the point that I'm pushing myself in sim harder than I would in real life. I'm learning new things, I'm experimenting and getting more aggressive and more comfortable and composed in close tandem. So I'm actually really excited for the first event that I get to. I've got the car apart, doing some engine repairs right now, and of course quarantine as well and all this crazy COVID lockdown. But I'm really excited to come out later this year and see how well that translates. Back from real life to the simulator, and then the simulator to real life. It's the full picture here. We're going to roll up behind this 180SX, which is driven by ProDrider in the chat. He's one of our viewers, and friends of the channel, active member of the Discord community as well. Oh, I did not expect that transition. He's been practicing a lot of grip driving recently, and was saying that it's throwing him off a little bit for his tandem skills, which I can relate. It's not always easy to go from one to the other, and some drivers are better than others at adapting. I'm really solid at doing what I'm good at, and not all that solid at switching cars left and right. Oh, we killed him. So That's always an interesting thing to see how people match up at. Jordan, what is up? Struggling to learn to manji. Gosh, it's mostly about the weight shifting. The main thing with the manji is the transitions. So the more angle that you're at when you go to transition, the more angle you'll transition to. So if you transition with this much, you're probably going to end up over here with that much, like the mirror image or somewhere close. If you transition with like crazy, almost 90-degree like gangster angle, it's going to throw the car really hard and make it likely that you spin out. So adjust using maybe less angle and see if that helps you figure out what the missing link is on those manjis. That is my suggestion for you. Yeet, respect the dad shoes. You know it, man. You know it. Zomdai, the server that we are on is linked in the Discord, and that is linked in the video description. Feel free to join us. We did have a white car parade. That was pretty radical. Dazarm says, just last year, just about every drifter in Norway bought a sim rig. Yup. Exactly. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that, Daz. Kaiser, I'll admit I bought my sim just to get seat time since the last time I've actually driven a car is about 3 or 4 months ago. It really does help keep you sharp. It absolutely does. So this place is a track called Sumisuto. It is not in the Ebisu complex. Alex, you're gonna go watch a movie. All right, man. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit. Good to see you. Sam says, tuning in from the UK. Oh man, bummer that you can't sleep. But yeah, thanks for checking out the stream. We're about to get another white car parade going, it looks like. Although I missed said white car parade, so I'll have to catch the next one. How are things in the UK? Are you guys talking about coming off of quarantine? I normally try to keep up with world news a little bit more, but because I've been sheltering in place myself, some of the instances where I make a point to listen to the news, I have not had the opportunity to, to do so quite so much. Alright, we've got kind of a motley tandem train. This is the sketch. This is the sort of stuff you see during Ebisu Drift Matsuris, where you've got a bunch of guys in a bunch of cars that may or may not work well together, that may or may not have ever driven together. Some of them are probably really solid, some of them might not be, and you basically don't know until it's too late, and you just hope that you don't kill each other. Stuff that I'm not always a huge fan of doing in real life. If I had more money, if I had a dedicated mechanic, for example, and I didn't have any sentimental attachment to my vehicle, I would send it. But I generally scope people out and tandem with a little bit smaller group at a lot of events in my main car. I'll let this train go on by, do some solo leads. 24 in the server though, we've packed it. Packed it, boys. Sam says it's a bit of a shit show here. Man, that's the truth. It really is kind of a shit show over here as well. More so, honestly, here I think. It's just, there's not a solid response. So you've got people that understand how to, you know, be considerate and be on the cautious side, not just for their own benefit, but for the benefit of society at large. And then you've got the people that think that it's some sort of a conspiracy thing, or that they've got herd immunity when this brand new thing has only, you know, been encountered by maybe 20% of New Yorkers, and in smaller areas way less. So it's a wild time. Dad says quarantine in Norway is almost non-existent. Some restrictions, but not a whole lot of people care. Hey, and drifting is on again, so that's solid. Kelsey, what CPU? I'm running a... Jeez, what the hell? You guys are all grouped up in the way. I'm just going to run away from that huge crowd of people. I'm running a AMD Ryzen 2700X. And I'm going to throw a 360 entry on the main straight first turn to this track, and I'm probably going to get killed by the guy behind me unless I can escape by running away. I'm just going to come right up here and attempt to do that, and then I took out John yet again. Bad friend, I've got to quit doing that. Well, it's going to be hard to throw a backy with somebody directly behind me. Okay, too much transition. It's funny, a lot of times folks get to having issues with getting enough rotation on their 360 entries. And me, I end up getting so much the car goes around a turn and a quarter or a turn and a half, because I get a little bit too aggressive with it. Is there such thing as too aggressive in drifting? Yes, yes there is. Pretty soon too, we should be bouncing over to Twitch, and we've had 50, 60 plus folks on YouTube. If you guys are into Twitch, I would love to get a follow from you. Twitch.tv/KameTrick, spelled just like the channel name is spelled. There we go. It's a little bit of a staccato movement there, but we got it. So that's got our backwards entry, that's got our 360 entry for this YouTube stream. Check what time it is here. How are we doing? 10:17. We are approaching. Time to change it up. And time to go on over to Twitch. I'm going to aim for a quick turnaround. The first and only other time I streamed on Twitch was this time last week, and I ran into a little bit of difficulty with my broadcasting system, getting it switched over. But this time I've got it all sorted. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we'll be live on Twitch here very soon. Cut a couple of last laps with Tandem. Oh god, I got into horridly the wrong place. I'm sorry. If that was real life, I would have bailed way sooner. Oh. Weird, because like if you get into the wrong spot when you're coming up on people, it's just incredibly difficult to not completely scrub it. There we go, not bad. I've had a lot better. Little door tap there. Oh, what a good time. I'm gonna stop over here and order some fast food from this little stand. Stop our alarm, because it is about time. I'm gonna catch up with chat real quick. For those of you guys who need a quick break, want to grab a beverage or something of your choice, you got about 10 minutes. Hop on over to twitch.tv/Kame, drop a follow, and we will be live there to continue this rad session very soon. Or Absolute Daddy, have a nice day. You're gonna head out. All right, man. Thank you for checking out the stream and being a part of the channel. Start streaming Euro Truck. I don't own Euro Truck. I might try to. I am gonna start doing more streams on Twitch. For the time being, I'm gonna continue to bounce from YouTube to Twitch every Friday and help introduce more people to the channel on Twitch that way. However, in addition, I'm gonna try and get some maybe shorter, like hour-long streams going on. Other opportunities when I have the chance to. Josh Ray, so excited to finally catch a stream. Yeah, man, thank you for checking it out. And if there's anything that me or the community can do to help you improve, if you got any questions, stuff like that, hit us up in the Discord. We're happy to help. So, SoCal, I am using 32-inch 2K monitors, and they're curved, and I'm actually on triples. I have 3 of them. You can't see, like, basically because it's so wide, it's like a 7680 by 1440. If I were to shrink that to where you could see the entire thing, the Assetto video would be like a quarter of the screen on what you're looking at, because I'm exporting it to a 1080p 60. As a result, I don't show everything that I can see. So if I look over here, I'm looking at a monitor, and if I look over here, I'm looking at a monitor. But it's a pretty fun setup, and if you check my edited videos, you can see it, because I'll do an over-the-shoulder cam where you can actually see the full rig. Refrigerator, going to take the cheap way out and say that's the track's fault. No worries, man. JT, this is an excellent thumbnail indeed, and Matt is to thank for that. Yeah, Tandem, I thought I was just running over you out there. I was on the brakes so hard. We'll have to, when I switch to Twitch, we'll have to start off strong and get together so that we can go out and do some exciting lead laps. Kaiserhound, out of curiosity, could we expect an LFS stream? I don't know if I'd start out streaming it. I would at least have to make some regular content first. It takes me a minute to switch to the lower angle like mindset of driving cars. I tend to just throw a crazy angle because that's what I'm used to, both in real life and in sim. But it's not out of the realm of possibility for sure. Yeah, so SoCal Kid. So if you already have Assetto, try Real Head Motion or Custom Shaders Patch Neck Effects. It makes the driver, you probably know, look with the wheel. So if you steer this way, the camera looks like that. So you could get away with an ultra wide and a little bit of that. Me personally, that messes me up. I don't like it. So I'd rather turn my actual head just like I would in the real car. And that's what works for me. GWG said, thought it was good with the learning curve from Tando cars. Yes, Tando cars, like I said, will help you learn if you know nothing, or if you come from real life and your inputs are late and you just need a little bit of help. It'll bridge that gap. But when you want to get into what I consider realistic drift cars like this, you're going to find that you still have a ways to go, and that's okay. For me, I went from Tando to DTP and then to 501 angle, which is pretty much the same feel as these cars as well. Alright guys, I want to say thank you for watching, thank you for being a part of the channel. If you haven't already, hit like. If you have somehow watched this far and you're not subscribed, go ahead and drop a subscribe as well, because you clearly are a fan of drifting and this is the channel for you if that is the case. So, I'm going to take a 5-minute break, get set up for Twitch, and I will see you there. I'm going to drop it into the chat as well. Bam. All right, we're out. See you guys. Peace.